Hi there, this is Jim Kelsey, and thank you for taking the time to stop by my YouTube channel. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the comparison between the Y-Wing that Kenner produced in 1983 and comparing it to that of the one that Hasbro produced in 2004 called the Saga and the Saga line. And when I was doing some research on this last week, I found very little on YouTube that talked about this particular ship that I happened to pick up in 2004. Now, prior to 2004, I did not own a Y-Wing. In fact, just a little background on myself. I was 8 years old, 1977, when Star Wars came out, turned 9 that September. So by 1983, when this was released, I was well into high school, depending on, if it was early release, the early part of the school year, I would have been a freshman, latter part of sophomore. And so I did not get this ship, but my brother did. And I thought it was absolutely the best ship that either one of us had, next to the Snowspeeder, which my brother also had, because it had so many cool features on it. I mean, the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter that I had lights and sound, and the Falcon had sound, the Slave One had nothing. But this had just an immense amount of play features, and I just thought it was amazing. So 2004, I picked this up, but like a true collector, I did not open the box until today. Today is April 6th, 2021. And I opened it up because I wanted to add to my collection. You see, I'm one that I like to keep consistent with my vintage stuff, so any Hasbro X-Wings that I have are the same exact mold. I have not gone for the larger size. And I pretty much keep to what I consider the first three movies: Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, which are now episodes 4, 5, and 6. I collect very little from any of the other movies. If I do, it's like astromech droids. I think those are cool. So I opened this up not only to as a display piece, but also interact with my son. And we have a great time doing battles or setting displays up and just sharing the hobby. So let's talk about some of the neat features that the 1983 version has and compare it with the 2004 version. Okay, so now that I moved the camera into a closer position, let's take a look at this one. Now, both of these happen to have canopies that open up and close and latch, which is great. This is my original Luke Skywalker from when I was a child, and of course this comes with a survival kit. It just remained a permanent part of him after I got that. And we'll do a little close-up here of the cockpit, and pardon movement there. So turn the camera around so you can see that right side up. Looks like we have quite some detail on screen. Not sure what that's supposed to be of, but anyway, and then compare that with the 2004 version. Some nice sticker detail in it, just a little bit different than what we are used to. Now, you'll notice right away that the Luke Skywalker that I have, and that's what they called him, stands really quite well. Now he's not standing for me, but he did earlier. And boom. Whereas the guy that came with the Hasbro release, I can't get him to stand at all. That's a real disappointment. He fits nicely though into the cockpit. A little bit easier than Luke does, and it latches really nicely. So that's a nice aspect for that. I wasn't able to get Luke to try. I tried to get him in there, but I wasn't quite able to get the canopy to latch. Maybe I just didn't get the arms down, or his helmet sticks up too tall. There we go. Okay. So both of these happen to have dropping bombs. I'll move the droids here. Well, I guess I'll talk about the droids. So here you can see there's a slot to put your astromech unit. So I can put my original R2. I think this was like figure number 4 or 5 for me. I got C3 and R2 at the same time. Or you can stick R5 into it. Both fit really well. Of course, you turn the ship upside down, they'll drop out. Whereas here, in this one, it's fixed. Can't remove them whatsoever. Now, you'll notice that behind the astromech unit is this orange button. Here it happens to be gray. That's the bomb release. And so we have here, there's the bomb underneath, and you press the button, and boom, the bomb drops. Now, for those of you that have the vintage one, and you know that this bomb comes apart in two pieces, and mine's pretty much stuck together. I will show you at the end of this video a permanent way, no, temporary way, I mean, to be able to adhere this without doing any permanent damage. So, we'll go ahead and put that back in place. And then this one here, you can see similar feature. And this one also drops nicely. Boom. Let's compare the bombs. So here we have, this one looks like it's in two pieces. This one looks like it's molded in all one piece. All exactly the same. Same plastic. It's a little bit softer plastic, that newer Hasbro plastic. Now, the other thing that both ships share is a retractable landing gear. So right here is a lever to retract it. And see here, I'll move the lever back. And boom. Releases really nicely. And it also has kind of a locking part. If you push it all the way forward, locks in place. This one's a little bit stiffer. I happen to like the way this one acts a little bit better. And the one I have is a little bit loose. Maybe that's because I oiled it. I had to take the ship apart in order to get the gun to even move and the motor to sound. And that's typical with these older units, is the motors tend to get bound up. And speaking of that, that's one thing that this Y-wing from 2004 does not have. So you'll notice here that we have just kind of a circle. They've remolded the plastic. And here is a circle, but we don't have that cross in the middle. So this button activates the sound and the gun. Now underneath the ship happens to be the battery compartment. So take these, open this up here, and you can see where two C batteries are installed. The other major difference between the two, it happens to be the stickers. So this is replete with stickers all the way throughout. And when I got this ship, it had about half the stickers on it. And so I went on to eBay, and Zach Paris out of Australia makes some fabulous die-cut stickers that are very easy to apply, as well as a sticker sheet. So if you don't have the original instructions, then that is really useful. And so this one's got some, the 2004, meaning this one, has some really nice paint scheme. It's different, of course, than the 1983. So if you're looking for variety in your collection, this fulfills that role. The gun just happens to swivel. It does go up and down, just like the Kenner one does, but it's molded out of a little bit different plastic, darker color. This one's got brass colored screws as opposed to silver colored screws that Kenner used in the day. But there aren't any stickers other than inside the cockpit. That's it. That's it. So that's pretty much the comparison between the two. So I happen to like them both because it provides a little bit of variety for my for the armory, but I definitely like the 1983 version better just because of all the features that it has. Now let me show you how do you keep this together without doing permanent damage to it. So being a model builder, I use, when I'm masking some of my models off, I use what's called parafilm. And parafilm is a stretchy plastic that allows you to cut it and trim it off this sheet here, and you can stretch over and then mask your plastic the way that you, or model that you want it to do. So that's exactly what I did here. So pulling it apart, what I did was I stretched parafilm around the shaft there. And so here's a little piece of parafilm right here that I cut. And all you do is you just stretch that. You can see how I'm stretching that. Just stretch it around the shaft, trim it as you like, and then it'll actually adhere itself to your surface, kind of like Saran wrap does, only better, and it will adhere itself to itself. So it'll stick really nicely, and then you just stretch that over, shove it in, and it's not coming out. Whereas before it kept dropping out when I was doing previous tests of the video. So hopefully you find that useful. Again, that's called parafilm. And if you don't know about it for masking, it's really, really nice. Masks things off very nice and clean, and it does stick to your surface. There's no adhesion to it. It's just, like I said, it's kind of like Saran wrap, how Saran wrap sticks. And you just press it in with your thumbs, and the heat from your thumb actually causes it to adhere, and then it just peels right off again. Well, I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching it.